Oh, 1, 2, 3, let's go. All right, guys, what's going on? Barris Edwards back here, and I got another video for you guys. Today's video, this video, is gonna be about self-awareness and being in a state of consciousness at all times. Okay. Now, a lot of us have issues in our lives, right? We have issues with other people in our lives. Like let's say you have a lot of conflicts with somebody. You're always having an issue with somebody. You're always having arguments with this person. You're always having like just they don't you it seems like everything you're telling them is right? But for some reason, they just can't understand. They just can't comprehend what you're saying. And it seems like as if though like either they're choosing not to understand or they're just so far gone in their own mess that they just can't comprehend it, right? So it feels like these issues are recurring. They're always happening. They're always popping up. It'll seem like, okay, they understand one moment, and then a couple days later, the next time you guys have an issue, it's about pretty much the same type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So then it drives you crazy, right? It drives you crazy. It makes you think like, damn, does this person just not get it? Are they just not getting it? Is it just can't get through their thick skull? And so what's gonna happen? You're gonna end up being irritated, right? You're gonna end up being bothered by it. You're gonna end up taking it as if though they're purposely doing this, right? It's gonna piss you off. It's gonna make you mad. So then, but what the thing is, a lot of us think that we're having these issues with these people. We're having these, and it can be anybody. It can be a spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend. It can be your kids. It can be your parents. It can be a coworker. It can be a friend. We think that we're constantly having these issues with them because of something they're doing. But in reality, a lot of the times, it's actually something that we are doing ourselves. But because we are unaware of ourselves, of how we think, of how we act, of how we feel, of how we do things, we're not seeing that what we're doing is causing them to do what they're doing. It's the way that we're acting that's causing them to react the way they're reacting. But unless you're self-aware, unless you know yourself, unless you're actually able to see yourself, you're never gonna know that they're doing that because of what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You're just gonna keep thinking that this person is just dumb, they're stupid, they're being hard-headed, I don't know, they just don't want to get it. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's gonna come off as. You're gonna end up blaming them. But in reality, it's not them. It's the fact that you don't see what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I really feel like practicing self-awareness, being self-aware, and being in a state of consciousness, it will help remove all of that. How? Why? When you're self-aware, you know exactly what you're doing, what you're feeling, how you're acting, what you're saying. You know what you're doing. When you're in a state of consciousness, you know exactly what you are doing. It's not happening out the blue. It's not happening automatically. You're not reacting off of emotions. You're not reacting, in a way that you don't know. When you're in a state of consciousness, when you're self-aware, you know exactly what you're doing, right? So, when you know exactly what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, you can then control it, right? And then you can when you're about to say something bad, or if you're about to say something that might piss the other person off, to make them act the way that they're gonna act, you won't do it. You'll say it in a different way. So now the way that you're acting has changed. So that means that their reaction will change. Okay? And I'm not saying every time you have an argument or every time you have these issues that it's you and it's because of that you're not self-aware. I'm not saying that. Because sometimes, yes, it is the other person and they're not self-aware, and that's why it's happening. But in most cases though, usually we don't know what we're doing. Okay? Because usually, like let's say a negative situation happens, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna unless you trained yourself, you're gonna react from emotions before you react logically. Okay? And when you react off emotions, it usually happens in an unconscious state of mind because you're not thinking. You are not thinking. You are reacting with emotions. If it pisses you off, whatever happens pisses you off, you're going to be angry. So therefore, if you can't control your anger, you're going to react out of anger, right? You're going to act out of anger. Then that's going to make the other person act however they take the way you act to them, however they take the anger. You know what I'm saying? That's why I forgot where I was going with it. But that's why being self-aware and being in a state of consciousness is something that we all need to practice every day. It's an everyday thing that you should practice. And the thing is, we all spend hours and hours and hours and hours and days and months and weeks. We all spend hours on social media, watching TV, watching Netflix, on stuff that doesn't matter, right? We all do it, including myself. We spend a lot of time on things that don't matter. Why can't we spend a little time on things that do matter? You know, and self-awareness, consciousness, that's things that matter because they are an everyday thing. It's a part of us. And unless you control your awareness, unless you control yourself, you're not going to be in control of yourself. Oh, that sounds nice. Unless you control yourself, you won't be in control of yourself. That sounds tight. But for real though, bars. But for real though. Like, that's what I'm saying. Now here's the thing. Some people think that you can just go online and then Google how to be self-aware, how to practice consciousness. And then you're gonna read the first link. Look, when you research, because it takes research, all right? It's gonna take research to do this, okay? When you research, you don't just go to the first link. You don't just type it in and the first thing you see, you read that and okay, now I got all the information. No, you don't do that, okay? Because there's fake news. Fake news is a real thing. We all know what clickbait is, right? We know what clickbait is. People can have stuff in there just in the title, and then you just read a bunch of bullshit that don't really make sense. So now if you just take that first link and go off of that, you're gonna be doing some stuff that's not even right. You know what I'm saying? You got the information, but you got the wrong information. That's why when it comes to research, you have to read more than just one thing. You have to watch more than just one video. You have to listen to more than just one person. You have to get all of them, so that way you can take all the opinions, take all the information to help formulate your own. Okay? Then that's how you know what's true and what's false. Okay? I forgot the word. But you don't just go to the first one. You take all of them and put them all together, and then you make your judgment, okay? So that's what I'm saying. But here's another thing. It's not gonna happen overnight. Even if you read all the right articles, you read all the right stuff, you watch all the right videos, you can't just read and you can't just watch. First of all, let me get that out of the way. You can't just read and you can't just watch. You need to actually apply to your life. You need to actively be conscious of it and apply it to your life. A lot of people think if they just read something and then, oh, now I know everything. No, it doesn't just stop at reading. It doesn't just stop at watching. It doesn't just stop at listening. You have to actually do it too. That's a part of it all. Do it. Apply it every day. See what happens. See the outcomes that come from it, good or bad. If it's bad, then you start doing things a little bit different. And then you tweak this and you tweak that. Take away this, remove that, put this in, add that. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how it's a process. Okay? It's a process. You don't just watch one thing and all that. And back to what I was saying, it's not gonna happen overnight. It is not gonna happen overnight. Let's say you're 20-something years old, you're 25 years old. You've been living this one way for 25 years. You've been thinking this one way for 25 years. You've been doing these things and acting this way for 25 years. You are not gonna all of a sudden change your whole mindset and your whole life in one night, in 1 hour of research, in 1 year of research. Sometimes it won't even take that. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen overnight. It's something you have to keep doing. You have to keep practicing. Okay? You have to keep doing it. And in time, you'll get better at it. You will get better at it. I'm not saying it's going to take years and years. I'm not saying it's going to take a whole another 25 years to change your life. No. It'll probably happen way sooner than that. Okay? Like in my case, it took me 2 to 3 years to really get to where I'm at right now mentally. You know what I'm saying? But I also wasn't always doing everything 100%. And then certain things in life happen. So it all depends. There's no timing. But I guarantee you, it's not going to take a whole another 25 years, okay? But it's not going to happen overnight. It is not going to happen overnight. Okay? Nothing worth having comes easy. You're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to put time into it. You're going to have to sacrifice for it. And when you're changing your mindset, you're changing the way your life is, it's going to take a lot of sacrifices. It is. It is. That's it. There's no getting around that. Anything in life, when you're trying to move up in a level in life, you have to let something go. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a lot of things, multiple things. Sometimes you only have to sacrifice one. It all depends. There's no answer. There's no perfect answers to that. But I'm telling you, it's going to take time. It's going to take work. It's going to take sacrifice. Blood, sweat, tears. I don't know. Your story is your story. Your journey is your journey. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen, how long it's going to take. That's all. We're all different. We're all the same, but we're all different. We all have same stories, but the lessons are the same. You know, we all have different situations that happen, but the lessons within them are all the same for all of us. Self-awareness and being in a state of consciousness is a must, guys. Please. It will save your life. It will save your relationships. It will save everything. It will change everything for the better. Oh man, it changed my mind. That's why I stress so much about positive thoughts at all times. Stop playing yourself, because positive thoughts, your mindset, you're changing your mindset. Yes, everything starts in the mind. Once you change the way you see things, the things you see will change. You know what I'm saying? Self-awareness and consciousness. I guarantee you, if you're someone who has a lot of issues in your life right now, whether you're causing them or other people are causing them, I guarantee you 100%, I can put my life on it. If you start practicing self-awareness, if you start practicing keeping yourself in a state of consciousness at all times, if you start practicing those two things, I guarantee you the issues that you have in your life that either you're causing or other people are causing, I guarantee you they will start to drop. They will start to change. I guarantee you they will start to fade away. Maybe not everything, but most of it will. And the things that can't change or that don't change immediately, you'll find ways and you'll start to see things that you didn't see before that you can now start doing that will make those things change. Excuse me. So yes, guys, positive thoughts at all times. There's a reason why I stress it. Stop playing yourself. It's all in the mind. And being self-aware, being in a state of consciousness is a mind thing. Okay? I'm telling you guys, bro, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to take another 25 years, but it's not going to happen overnight. Okay? It's not going to be easy. Honestly, it's not going to be easy. I don't know who said changing your life is going to be supposed to be an easy thing. It's not. Especially when you've been, just think about it. If you've been living a certain way for 20-something years, 30-something years, 40-something years, it's not going to happen right away. You're not going to be able to change everything right away. But you can step by step, and every little step counts. Even if you only do 5%, you don't have to go online and read hours and hours of information. I'm not telling you to do that. If you can do that, if it comes easy, then do it. Okay, it's only going to help. It's not going to hurt. But you don't have to do that. Like I said, we spend hours and hours a day on social media reading a bunch of bullshit. We can do a couple of minutes a day for some self-development. We can do that. A couple of minutes a day. Read one article a day. Watch one video a day. But also remember, don't just watch. Don't just listen. Don't just read. You need to actually apply it. Like with self-help books, I read a lot of self-help books. That's how I get the information that I get, honestly. All of my posts come from information from other people, experiences from other people, and then I add my own information, I add my own experience, and then I make all that stuff and put it together, and that's how I make my videos, okay? So, I read a lot of self-help books, but reading a self-help book is not gonna change your life. Some people think that, oh, there's this one book called How to Have a Millionaire Mind or something like that. I forgot who did it. That was one of my first books that I started reading, listening to on Audible, which I highly recommend. I'll try to have a link down in the description below for Audible. But yes, you can't just read a self-help book, okay? You need to apply it. Most people, they read these books and they think, okay, because I read the book, I'm gonna change, my whole life's gonna change. No, okay? Reading the book is one step of the process. You're reading it to acquire the information. But unless you apply that information that you've acquired to your life, to your situation, to yourself, nothing's gonna come from it. You're just gonna read it, and it's no different than going in one ear and out the other. Like that saying, that's all that's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? You can't just read, you can't just listen, you can't just watch. You need to actually apply it. You need to actually practice it, okay? If the guy in the book tells you to do these things, do it. Don't just read it, do it. You have to actually do it. Figure out how to apply it to your life and actually do it. Test it out. It's not gonna happen right away. So yeah, it's gonna be awkward. Things are gonna be awkward. Things won't make sense. Things are not gonna work out perfectly. But that's okay. That's okay. That's not a bad thing. You're learning. You're learning from that. You're getting the experience. And then next time when you try to do it again, you do it a little differently. You know, you might add something, you might remove something, but that's all a part of the process. That's all research. That's all the steps. Okay? It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard. Because changing your life is hard. It's a hard thing to do. But it's worth it. Because people are going to probably say like, well, damn, Barris, you're scaring me. Like, you're discouraging me. If it's not gonna be easy, if it's not gonna happen overnight, why would I want to do it? Because it's worth it. Your whole life will be different. Your whole life was gonna change. It will change. And then you're gonna look back and be like, damn, I should have did this shit a long time ago. That's how it was for me. Man, yes, it took a couple of years for me to get to where I'm at. I'm glad I still did it though. Looking back on it now, I'm like, damn, I should have did this shit a long time ago. My life would have been perfect long time ago. I wouldn't have had to go through all that BS I went through. But everything happens for a reason, and timing is everything, right? Things happen when they're supposed to happen, not when we want it to happen. But that's all I want to say for today, man. Self-awareness and being in a state of consciousness is something we all need to practice and make a part of our lives. It's a daily thing. It's not a once in a blue moon thing. It's not a when I feel like it thing. It's not a only when bad things happen, then I should start doing it thing. No, it's an everyday thing. No matter if it's a good day or a bad day, it's an everyday thing. Change the way you see things, the things you see will change. Okay? It's going to take time. It's going to take work. But it's all a part of the process, and it's 100% worth it. I promise you guys. Okay? I guarantee you, like I said, even if you feel like all the issues that you're having in your life are not from you, or it's not because of you, okay, that may be true. But this is what I want to tell you. Still, I want to tell those people that don't think that it's not their fault, still, practice self-awareness and being in a state of consciousness. And you tell me, I guarantee you, those issues will still go away. And if they don't completely go away, they'll at least lessen or show you some things that you can then do to make them go away. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. All right? Like I said, I'm gonna put a description down below with a couple of books that I like, that have helped me, and I'll put the link to freaking Audible. If you don't have Audible, I highly suggest taking it. This is not a sponsor. I do not get paid for this. Hopefully they can. That'd be cool. But no, this is all free, man. This is what I did. I'm telling you guys, I wouldn't be here stressing this if it wasn't true. Okay, that's it. But as always, keep God first. Your heart in the right place. You'll always win. Okay, guys. Positive thoughts at all times. Stop playing yourself. You got this, guys.